Welcome to the Register's Report. My name is John Buckley. I'm the Register of Deeds of Plymouth County. This show is about Plymouth County real estate. On this show, we're talking about the January numbers for the recordings at the Registry of Deeds. This show is being taped in February. We have a great guest coming on after we talk about the numbers for the month. Her name is Janet Murray of Allison James Real Estate and Homes, talking about real estate in Plymouth County. She's also the new president of South Shore Realtors. So let's go right to the numbers. First, we're going to talk about deeds. There were 661 deeds recorded in January, less than the 991 in December, 7% less than the 708 deeds last January. Year to date, 7%. So we're also going to show sales for the month. All the communities from Abington to Whitman have had sales in January, the largest of the two being Plymouth and Brockton, but every community had sales activity. Clearly, things are slowing down a little bit. Some of it is seasonal, because in January and February, our numbers are always lower, but we also may be seeing a slowdown in the market. It's been high for so long, it's bound to have a correction. There were 1,920 mortgages recorded in January, less than the 2,714 recorded in December, 43% less compared to the 3,390 mortgages in January of last year. It's our expectation that a lot of refinancing is slowing down. There are still mortgages for most people when they buy their property, but year to date, we're up 9%. Next image you're going to see is of foreclosure deeds. We've always tracked foreclosure deeds very closely, particularly since the problems in 2008. Since there was a moratorium on foreclosures that has just been released, the foreclosure deeds are coming back very slowly. There were only 5 foreclosure deeds in January, less than the 12 foreclosure deeds in December, but 17% less than last year's January's foreclosure deeds, 17% less year to date. Same story, although a little more recordings in foreclosure notices. A foreclosure deed is when a lender takes back your property, usually for non-payment. A foreclosure notice is just a start for us that there's a process going on, that you're not caught up in your mortgage. I always advise people to reach out to a federal housing counselor. They may be able to get you a modification and save you from leaving your home. There were 30 foreclosure notices in January, more than the 18 in December, 173% during the real period of last January when the moratorium was on. We'll also give you a listing year to date of the number of foreclosure deeds in notices for each of our 27 communities. As you can see, those are very low. Couple stories for the month. Take advantage of our free property fraud alert on our website. If anything gets recorded against you, it'll show up. You enter your email and you get a notice for that. It's free. Beware of people asking you to pay a lot more money for your deeds than $1 a page, because at our offices you can get them for $1 a page. We received a great award from our software vendor, Avenue. We got a Book One award for going back to Book One of the colonial records and Book One of the colony records, and having that image available on the internet with the indexing information in a transcription. We also had a great celebration, which is why I'm wearing my West Bridgewater pin, the 200th anniversary of the incorporation of the town of West Bridgewater. My next segment of the show is a guest, Janet Murray, president of South Shore Realtors, and we'll see you in the next segment. Welcome back to the Register's Report. My name is John Buckley. I'm the Register of Deeds of Plymouth County. In this segment of the show, we always do something educational in nature. We've had surveyors, appraisers, we've had a lot of people from the assessor community, and one of our major guests on this segment of the show are realtors. So I have a great guest on the show today. I have Janet Murray of Allison James Estate and Homes, but she's also the new president of the South Shore Realtors. So welcome on the show.
Thank you, John.
So why don't you just tell me a little bit about how you get into the real estate business?
So many years ago, I actually worked in a real estate office as an admin, and I just became very interested in what everyone else was doing. So eventually I did get my real estate license. The company that I worked for at the time went out of business, and that was my opportunity. If I was going to try real estate, I was now unemployed, and I thought this would be the perfect time to go ahead and do that. So I did, and this was back 20-ish years ago.
So tell me about your business a little bit. We'll get into the South Shore Realtors after that, but you all are volunteers for South Shore Realtors. And so tell me about Allison James Estate and Homes.
So Allison James Estates and Homes is a company newer to Massachusetts. They had an office in Nashua, New Hampshire, and when myself and 3 other colleagues were looking to make a move for various different reasons, we did some research on a lot of different companies that were out there, and we interviewed as a group with Allison James Estates and Homes, and we liked everything that we heard. And after much talk amongst ourselves and consideration, we made the move to Allison James, and just about 1 year ago today. And that group of 4 has now turned into a group of 20.
Wow.
So we're
Good jump.
yeah, gradually getting a little bit bigger and getting ourselves known on the South Shore. And we're excited for the opportunity to go ahead and do that.
And your office is located where?
Our office is based out of Hingham, Mass. And we may expand at some point, who knows?
So can you share your contact information?
Sure. My email address is my name. It's janet@janetmurray.net. And my website is also janetmurray.net. So very easy to find me if you know my name.
So let's talk about South Shore Realtors. I congratulate you. You've recently been elected, elevated. What is the right word?
Yes.
Elected. As president of South Shore Realtors, it's a great organization. It's the second largest realty organization in Massachusetts. And,
Yes.
we've had guests before that have been part of it, and I know you're respected as a wonderful organization.
It is a great organization, and one I'm very proud to represent. We have 3,000 plus members at South Shore Realtors, which, as you said, is the second largest trade organization in Massachusetts. And we have many volunteer opportunities, and we have a lot of people that do participate on our committees, our task force opportunities, and come to our social gatherings and support us in many ways, even if they can't participate in a volunteer, capacity.
So I know the name Realtor to people in your field means a lot. It means a guarantee of training and code of ethics and all that. Do you want to explain that?
Yes, well, every realtor is a real estate agent, but every real estate agent is not a realtor, is a very simple way to remember it or to think of it. And we do subscribe to a code of ethics, and we are members of the National Association of Realtors, and we have a higher standard and rules and commitments that we follow to make a good transaction with our clients and for good communication amongst our colleagues.
And it usually means you're involved in your communities and all the things that go with that.
Yes, we definitely are. We have, you may have heard the term RPAC, the Realtor Political Action Committee.
Right.
That is a committee formulated by realtors to the benefit of realtors and homeowners in order to promote home ownership. So that is something that we contribute to, and we aspire to assist with helping any issue that comes up for homeowners.
So your predecessor, Mary D'Ambra,
Is my role model, yes.
she was on a video we did back in the days of the Plymouth 400, speaking about private property rights.
Yes.
And how important that is to people as a wealth grower. And you people are the leaders of that across the country.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about the training that you provide your members.
Yes, so just a little bit about the association.
Oh, sure.
And some of the things that we do. So our association, so we provide education and resources for our members on 3 levels. So one being the National Association of Realtors, the Massachusetts Association of Realtors, and the Massachusetts Association of Realtors is consisting of 13 local associations like South Shore Realtors with approximately 24,000 members. And at the local level, which is South Shore Realtors, and we provide that education to all our members, but not only the members, also the affiliates that are part of our organization as well. So we have training classes, we bring in speakers, we offer designation courses, and then for fun, we do things like karaoke night coming up on March 1st. And that is, it's a great way to get people out and networking, getting to know each other, which can be a great benefit just out in business.
So I know your offices are on Route 139 in Pembroke.
Yep, so that'd be 48 Scusit Street in Pembroke.
Right.
And then we also have a location in Fall River.
Okay.
And that is 580 Eastern Ave in Fall River, and that is our second location.
Great. So what do you think is going to be happening over the course of the year?
So that's a good question, John.
I always try to get the people on the ground
Yeah.
in the field to give us their perspective.
It's really hard to say. Right now, if you ask most anybody on the street, they would tell you that it's we have a shortage of homes right now. There's an inventory issue. And if you look at some of the statistics, you'll see some towns are up from a year ago, some towns are below where they were a year ago, but statistics don't really matter to the buyer or the seller that you're working with at any given moment, because they're looking to get something now, and it doesn't necessarily matter what happened a year ago to them. Every situation is personal. There are homes that are closing at a good rate. The thing is, they're going under agreement pretty rapidly. They're not sitting on the market like they may have been a year or two ago. They're not sitting for a month or 2 months. They're sitting for a day or 2 days or 3 days. Some towns have 1 listing, some towns have 0 listings, some towns have 15 or 16 listings. So it is different out there. For buyers that are looking for homes, they need to be ready to go. They need to be pre-approved. They need to be working with a realtor who is educated and knows the market and knows how to steer them in the right direction. You may lose out on a multiple bid situation, but you have to be ready to pick it up and try again.
So it was amazing to me that during COVID, which I'm just measuring it by the year 2021, the calendar year, we recorded more documents at the registry than we had in any year since 2005. During that whole time period, it was
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
right.
I mean, real estate never stopped. I'll say that it maybe stopped or slowed down for maybe a week or two,
Right.
and then things just went right back to a busy, strong market. Housing is something that can't wait. People are always needing housing, no matter what the market is, what the interest rate is. That's something that people need to move forward. It's not luxury item like a new car or shopping at Macy's. It's something that people need to do for varying different reasons. So that did not stop.
So how has your attendance been at open houses during the last few months?
So open houses are busy. During the height of COVID, open houses were primarily by appointment. It was a kind of an odd, tough situation because buyers would see that there's an open house but not realize that they needed to have an appointment to get in to see the house. Those days have pretty much stopped. Open houses are strong and steady. There may be a limit to how many people come into the house at a time. Some are requiring different protocol for COVID, but the open houses are strong and busy, and some people are actually opting not to have the open house, just strictly doing appointments, but it's a busy time out there.
Yeah, clearly the COVID restrictions are being modified downward everywhere, it seems.
It's a much better time than it was even just say back in January.
Right.
Things have drastically gotten better.
But you're still getting multiple offers, I'm hearing, on properties.
Almost every listing will have multiple offers, and it's the asking price on a property is merely a suggestion.
So what's going to break the logjam? What's going to get more people to list their homes?
Well, it's kind of a catch-22, as you know. I want to sell my house, but where am I going to go? I'm not going to be able to get one. It can be done. You need to have a good realtor working with you. I sold my own house 6 months ago, and just like everyone else, it was a multiple offer situation. I had a home to sell. It kind of came down to which home had a better chance of selling.
And you had a place to go.
Well, I didn't. I wanted to buy a house as long as I sold my house.
Okay.
But so did everyone else that had the offer and on the property.
Right.
So
That's what I'm hearing is difficult. A lot of people are afraid. They'll know they'll get a buyer, but where do they go?
So when I put the offer in on my house, I said, where my house was and what I thought my time frame would be. If I put it on the market this weekend, I was pretty certain that I would have it under agreement by Sunday, and that is what ended up happening. So it can be done. It needs to be crafted, very well. You need an experienced realtor working with you, but it almost always works out for the best. But it is great to have a contingency plan if you have someplace you can stay temporarily or family, just in case. But sellers are really in control right now. Sellers can ask for lease backs on the property and likely, work some of those contingencies out. So if you're looking to sell your house and move on to your next property, this is a great time to do it. You will make great money, doing so.
So we only have a little time remaining. You've done a great job talking about what's happening in the market. How do we deal with the problems of first-time home buyers?
Well, first-time home buyers really, again, going back to they need to be pre-approved, potentially having different financing options available to them. There are, different conditions that go with different loan types. So if you can get pre-approved for a conventional loan and an FHA loan and mass housing first-time down payment assistance program. Get all the approvals you can and be ready to pull one out which best suits the house that you're looking at. And buyers have to think of contingencies and what can be done. But the real estate agent, the realtor, is there to advise how to best go about and structure an offer to hopefully create a winning bid. But unfortunately, only one person can win, and when you're competing with 17 offers, you have to do the very, very best you can.
Yeah, I'm not sure when this is going to break. We're looking at some rate hikes coming up in the year, depending upon who you talk to, which lender, which expert. We don't know the number. I'm not sure that's going to make it any easier. It could make it harder.
It could make it harder because as the interest rate goes up, some first-time home buyers will lose buying power.
Right.
And right now, the buying power and the ability to maybe offer over asking price is important. So every little dollar that you can get is important. That's why it's important to have a great lender who can go over all the lending options and be ready to move forward.
Well, I'm sure we have a lot where we could say, but our time is fairly limited. I want to thank you for coming on the show. I think your organization is a great organization. I wish you well in the early spring market, though people tell me it's not even a spring market
It's really
anymore.
no spring market anymore. It just keeps going. It's a never-ending market.
And can you share your contact information one more time?
Yes, my name is Janet Murray, and it's janetmurray.net, and my email address is janet@janetmurray.net. And I'm happy to hear from any of you, whether it's questions about real estate, about South Shore Realtors, and what we can do for you. I'm happy to chat.
Well, thank you for joining my show.
Thank you, John, very much.
Okay. So welcome back to the Register's Report. In this segment, we always do something a little lighter in nature, and we will talk about the holidays for the month. I want to thank Janet Murray first for the great job she did. She'll be a great president for South Shore Realtors, and she obviously is a very experienced realtor. Holidays for the month were Groundhog Day on the 2nd, National Pizza Day on the 9th, Lincoln's birthday on the 12th, Super Bowl on the 13th, Valentine's Day the 14th, Lithuanian Independence Day on the 16th, the kickoff to West Bridgewater's bicentennial on the 16th, National Drink Wine Day on the 18th, President's Day on the 21st, and National Margarita Day on the 22nd. So we're going to tie a couple of our notable records to the holidays. Obviously, Lincoln's birthday is a well-known holiday. Here in Plymouth County, actually in Plymouth Colony, Samuel Lincoln, one of Abraham Lincoln's predecessors, actually his great-great-grandfather, came to Hingham, Massachusetts from Hingham, England. He was born in Hingham, England, and he emigrated to Hingham, Massachusetts aboard the ship Dorothy and John in 1637. He's credited with helping build Hingham's old ship church, the oldest meeting house in continuous use in the United States. His dwelling house was deeded to him in 1649 with 2 acres in Hingham at 170 North Street. The property is located across the street from what is currently an impressive statue of his great-great-great-grandson, Abraham Lincoln, who was one of our greatest presidents, with a lot of stories to tell about him. At the time the property was deeded to Samuel, Hingham was part of Suffolk County, and special thanks to the Suffolk County folks, particularly Tom Ryan, for getting us a copy of that document. The next one is Admiral Fred Bakutis, we're just getting by Lithuanian Independence Day, certainly a very important holiday this month, with Russia really being very active in the Ukraine, and the people of Lithuania, which at one point had been Russia territory before World War II, became independent, separated from Russia, then was taken over by Germany, separated from Germany, and it's one of the few countries in the world that have two Independence Day. But Admiral Bakutis was a Brockton person, grew up in the Lithuanian village of Brockton, graduated from Brockton High, United States Naval Academy, had a distinguished career as a fighter pilot, and was a commander of the naval forces at both the North and South Poles. He also led a naval task force that recovered the Apollo 10 astronauts. But while serving in Antarctica, he named a new territory, Brockton, U.S. Antarctica, in honor of his beloved hometown. Very well known in the history of Brockton, a time capsule containing his information is expected to be open in Brockton in 2067. Our next notable record is Hastings Keith. We talked about the celebration in West Bridgewater. Hastings Keith was the last congressman elected from Plymouth County. They lived in West Bridgewater. He began his career as a senator, was elected to Congress in 1958, and he had most of Plymouth County and Cape Cod. He was a 7-term congressman. He created, by filing a document to create the National Seashore, and also was known as a cranberry congressman because there was a time when cranberries were deemed to be causing cancer. He had a study done, and that helped maintain the cranberry industry. And last but not least, one of our colonial records relative to the schoolmaster. It was founded as a document that established schoolmasters in the communities in the colonial records. And you'll note, if you look at the colonial records, that schoolmaster at the time was spelled incorrectly. And that is one of the fascinations of our colonial records. We continue to show those off to people when they can't get in the building. We're starting to open it up again, and we'll encourage people to come visit us at some point in the future. I want to thank Lorna Green Baker and Christine Richards helping me put this show together today on Brockton Cable Access. Athena Grant was my cameraman and studio panel manager. And I want to thank the local access providers throughout Plymouth County for sharing this information with their residents. And we will see you next month. Thank you.